Hey everyone, let's work on this month name. So here we're going to have some integer value that's going to represent the month. And we want to basically get the name of the month based on that number. For example, if the number is 10, then we expect the output to be October. If we say a number like -20, then we'll have some error like no such month exists. So for these, we're practicing switch still, because switch is very good for handling these situations. Like when you know the exact known value, switch is really good for that. So we'll make some integer. This is basically going to be the month number. Let's call it month num. And we'll just give any number for now. And then we can adjust as we go. So for example, the number here will start as 10. So we'll start with the switch, and we can just say, okay, we're checking the month number, and we're going to, for example, maybe print something or store it to the result. Those are flexible. But let's say the first case is, for example, January. So we'll go ahead and put January as the month, and when the oh no, I have the opposite. So one, right? I'm looking for the case of 1. When it's 1, then I want to print January. Right, so I'm not looking for when it's January, I'm looking for when it's 1, then the result will be January. And we have typo. Okay, and then we'll break. Then we have case 2, and we can just follow the same flow and copy paste. Oops. This one can go ahead and be our February, and we can basically continue with this flow one case at a time. Now, because we've done practice with switch here, we've done a couple different practices, and they've all been following this kind of, let's say, normal syntax, where you have a case and then you have some statements and then you have the break. Because we've already done a couple of those, for the rest of this, I'm actually going to do the full task. But I'm not going to do it this way, where I just keep each case. I'm going to use the other syntax that we took a look at. So I'm going to move this at the end here. I'm just going to leave it as a comment. But instead, I'm going to do this as the kind of the other syntax that we saw, using that kind of lambda kind of syntax in the enhanced switch. So I'm going to get the result here, which is basically going to be my month. And I'm going to use the switch, and I'm going to just use it in a slightly different way. So here, I'm going to check the month number, and I'm going to check if it is case of 1, for example. And when the case is 1, then the result or the value I want to get back is, for example, January. Okay. And when the case is 2, for example, I want the result to be February. And let's maybe duplicate this line a couple times. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And let's see, we need 10, 11, and 12. And we can also go ahead and define our default case. So let's make sure to put default here, because we did have some error message for that, right? No such month, or no such, English is a little off there. We'll just say no valid month. Yep. And so here we just need to finish by actually assigning each one. So for example, this one was March. We'll put April. We'll put May, June, July. We have August. We have September, October, November, and finally December. And I think we just put some extra E's in those. We'll just delete those. Okay. So here we have the final switch. We do need the semicolon here at the end, but this switch is doing the same thing as if I did this, right? Where I had the case 1, and then I printed the January, and then I had the break. The one slight difference would be in this approach, this is basically giving back the value, right? It's basically giving you this value here, the string, and I'm assigning it in the month variable. So when I print the month, I'll be able to see what the result is, right? So in this case, for example, when my month is 10, it's October. Let's just go ahead and change that to 7. Now in this case, when I say 7, the result is January, and so on. I can make it an invalid number. Let's just say like 20. When I say the month of 20, it's going to say no valid month. Right, so this is just an alternative syntax to the switch. It is very nice and it's useful in some situations when you're going to be using the value. So if I were going to use the string approach where I have a string result, and then instead of printing, I'm doing the result, that's normally when it's going to be the best. Although I could print as well. I mean, I could have just written a print statement here instead, but this is a very clean way to write the switch as well. So hopefully it's clear. I'll see you on the next one.